everyone. Welcome. Tonight, we're going to quietly step back in time to ancient Sparta. Not the loud, dramatic version, but the slow, everyday world of stone streets, soft firelight, and long, quiet nights. As you listen, we'll gently follow the life of a young Spartan named Alexios, and what life felt like during the long years of the Peloponnesian War. There's nothing here you need to remember, nothing you need to focus on. Just let the words drift past and get comfortable. Whenever you're ready, let's begin. Good evening, or good morning, or that strange hour where your body begs for rest, but your mind is busy replaying a 5-second moment from years ago, like it's the season finale of a drama series. Tonight, we're going far back in time, to ancient Sparta, a place of mountains and stone, of quiet discipline, and of people who looked at the concept of comfort and decided it was a suspicious foreign influence. So get settled. Let your shoulders drop. Let your eyelids get heavy. You don't have to be vigilant here. There will be no surprise inspections. No one is going to burst into your room and shout, "This is bedtime." Tonight, we'll drift through Spartan streets, quietly observe daily life, and follow the story of a young man named Alexios as he grows into adulthood and serves during the long conflict we now call the Peloponnesian War. We're going to do this gently, softly, like historians in slippers. Now imagine it, the Peloponnese, southern Greece, where ridges of dark rock sit under a wide sky. Olive trees twist their branches like old hands. The air has that clean sharpness that comes from mountains nearby. In the distance, water moves in the Eurotas River. Not loud, not dramatic, just present, like time. Sparta is not like Athens. Athens is busy. Athens is noisy. Athens is full of opinions. Sparta is quieter. Spartan streets don't sparkle. They don't show off. The buildings are plain, practical, stone and wood. A city that feels like it's been built by someone who thinks decoration is a personal weakness. There are no grand walls around Sparta in its earlier period, because Sparta's wall is supposed to be its men. That's the idea, anyway. It's also the kind of slogan that sounds great until you realize it means you're the wall. And walls do not get days off. It is early morning, not even sunrise yet, and somewhere in the dim light, Alexios wakes. Not because he wants to, because Sparta has decided the day has begun. He opens his eyes on a simple sleeping place, straw and cloth, practical and thin. The air is cool against his skin. He listens for a moment. There's a kind of hush before the day starts. Distant footsteps, the dog shifting in an alley, the soft scrape of someone moving a pot over a fire. He sits up slowly, controlled. In Sparta, even yawning feels like it should be done with discipline. Alexios stands. He rolls his shoulders. His muscles ache in familiar places, the quiet reminders of training. He washes his face in cold water, the kind of cold that doesn't wake you up so much as accuse you of being asleep in the first place. He eats a small meal, bread, maybe olives, a bit of cheese if he's lucky. Spartan breakfast isn't fuel for your day, so much as proof you can function without joy. Then he steps outside, and Sparta meets him. Stone underfoot, air on his face, the day opening like a slow breath. We follow him, slowly, quietly. The streets are narrow, simple, worn smooth by time. People move with purpose. You don't see much rushing, but you also don't see much lingering. The city feels like it's always slightly in training. Alexios walks toward the gathering place for young men, those in the system that shapes them into Spartan citizens. He's not a child anymore, but Sparta has a way of making not a child feel like not yet enough. He reaches the training ground and joins others. No dramatic greetings, no loud laughter, just nods, a murmur of voices, a steady sense of routine. This is Sparta, and this is Alexios's world.
To understand Alexios, we need to understand the strange, calm machinery of Spartan life. Sparta is not a kingdom of gold. It is a society built on strict structure, a military-focused citizen class supported by a much larger population of non-citizens. The Spartan citizens, the Spartiates, are trained to be soldiers first. Their lives are shaped by discipline, endurance, and the expectation that personal comfort is questionable. Around them are others, the perioikoi, free people who live in surrounding communities, and the helots, a subjugated population who work the land and support the Spartan system. Sparta is, in many ways, an engine, and every engine has parts that carry the weight. Some parts get the glory, some parts simply carry. Alexios walks through the morning with the controlled posture of someone who's been watched his whole life. Because in Sparta, you are watched. Not always by guards, often by tradition, by elders, by peers, by the invisible pressure of expectations. Even your silence is evaluated, especially your silence. Alexios passes older men, veterans, elders, whose faces are lined from sun and years. They speak in short phrases, calm, firm. Spartan speech is famously brief. If you give a long explanation in Sparta, someone might assume you are hiding something. It's the ancient version of, "I'm not reading all that." Alexios sees women moving confidently through the city, managing households and estates. Spartan women generally have more visible autonomy than many women in other Greek city-states. Not because Sparta is trying to be progressive, but because Sparta needs its citizen men focused on military life, and someone has to manage property and economic affairs. Sparta's values are practical, sometimes harshly practical. If Athens is a symposium, wine and debate and poetry, Sparta is a training yard at dawn, where even the air feels like it's being assessed. The buildings are plain, the clothing is simple, the city does not show off. And yet there is an identity here, a pride that doesn't need decoration. Alexios's life is shaped by routine, training, communal meals, discipline, and always, the knowledge that Sparta's strength is built on relentless preparation. As he walks, He hears the sounds of the city waking fully, the clink of pottery, the scrape of sandals, the low voices of people exchanging breath information. He smells smoke from cooking fires and the faint, sharp scent of olive oil. He feels the texture of the day, cool shadows still lingering, sunlight beginning to creep over stone. He thinks about his schedule. In Sparta, your schedule is less your schedule and more Sparta's schedule, featuring you. He arrives to train. The ground is packed dirt. The air is crisp. Men move in controlled drills. There is running, wrestling, weapons practice, endurance work. In another society, this might feel intense. In Sparta, this is. Alexios remembers being 7. Not because it was joyful, but because it was a turning point. At 7, Spartan boys enter the agoge, the state-run education and training system that turns children into disciplined citizens. It begins with separation from family, a hard cut, a new identity. For a child, it's like being told, "Congratulations, you're now a group project." In the agoge, boys learn to obey, endure, and cooperate. They learn to fight. They learn to be tough. They learn to go without. They're given minimal clothing, minimal food, minimal comfort. They're trained in physical endurance, yes, but also in restraint, not showing pain, not complaining, not appearing needy. Sparta has an opinion about need. Alexios remembers hunger, a constant background feeling like a quiet drum. Boys are encouraged to steal food, not because Sparta loves crime, because Sparta loves resourcefulness. If you steal successfully, you prove cleverness and courage. If you're caught, you're punished, not for stealing, but for failing. Sparta's educational philosophy is basically, do the thing, just don't get caught. Which is also, incidentally, the philosophy of a lot of modern office culture. Alexios remembers cold nights, thin bedding, the way wind slid into gaps like it belonged there. He remembers learning to speak briefly, to be sharp, to say more with less. Spartan wit is often described as laconic, short, cutting. Alexios learned early that long explanations were suspicious. If a Spartan asks why, a long answer is a red flag. A short answer is character. He remembers discipline. He remembers being watched. He remembers the strange feeling of bonding with boys who were both companions and competitors, brothers in training, rivals in endurance, friends in a system designed to test them. Over years, Alexios became strong. But strength in Sparta isn't only muscle. It's posture, control, the ability to stand in discomfort and act like it's normal. Now, as a young man, Alexios carries that training in every movement. He doesn't fidget. He doesn't slump. Even his stillness looks trained. But inside, he's human. He has thoughts that Sparta doesn't officially encourage. Curiosity, quiet fear, hope, a sense that beyond the Spartan valley, the world is wide and complicated. And the world is becoming dangerous. Because tensions are rising. Sparta and Athens are moving toward conflict. And soon, Alexios will be part of something much larger than training.
As the day moves forward,
Alexios heads toward one of the most defining features of Spartan male citizen life, the syssitia, the communal mess. In Sparta, adult male citizens eat together in groups. This is not optional. This is part of the structure, part of the glue that keeps Spartan society disciplined and unified. It's also, in practice, the ancient version of having roommates who never stop judging your portion size. The meal is simple. Spartans are associated with black broth, a famously unglamorous soup made with pork, blood, and vinegar. If you're imagining it tastes like victory, it probably doesn't. It likely tastes like, we are not here to enjoy ourselves. Visitors are said to have found it unpleasant. Spartans would probably reply, yes. Because the point is not pleasure. The point is endurance and equality. Everyone eats the same basic food. Everyone participates. No one is special. Except, of course, the people who run the system. But let's not ruin your bedtime with politics. Alexios sits among his group. The room is lit by firelight. The air smells of smoke and cooked meat and simple grain. Men speak in low voices, short comments, dry jokes. Spartan humor isn't a performance. It's a weapon used sparingly. A man says something about Athens, about Athenians talking too much. Someone else murmurs that in Athens, even their silence probably comes with a speech. A few people exhale in something that is almost laughter. Alexios listens more than he speaks. He knows when to speak. He knows when not to. He thinks about the future. He thinks about how, in Sparta, you're expected to be ready. Always. Ready for war. Ready for hardship. Ready to be part of something that demands your whole self. And in the coming years, that demand will become very real. News in the ancient world travels like wind through mountains. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes arriving changed. But when news reaches Sparta, it becomes firm quickly. The war is coming. Sparta and Athens have been rivals, uneasy partners, competing forces in Greece. Athens has naval power, wealth, walls, and alliances. Sparta has land power, disciplined infantry, and a reputation that makes other cities swallow nervously. The conflict will not be a single battle. It will be long. Years. Decades. It will be fought with armies and ships, with sieges and raids, with alliances shifting like sand. But Alexios doesn't experience it as a historian's timeline. He experiences it as a change in daily life, a tightening, a sharpening. Training becomes more focused. Inspections become more frequent. The older men speak less, but their silence is heavier. Alexios watches weapons being checked, armor being prepared. A shield is not just a shield. It is identity. It is protection for you and for the man beside you. Spartan mothers are famously said to tell sons, "Return with your shield or on it," meaning, come back victorious or come back dead. Sparta's parenting style is,
direct. Alexios feels the pressure of expectation, but also the steady calm of training. He has been prepared for this. At least, that's what Sparta believes. And Alexios believes it too. Mostly. But on some nights, as he lies beneath the stars, he wonders what it will actually feel like to face another Greek, to push forward in a dense line of shields, to hear the sound of men breathing hard in bronze helmets, to realize that history is not a story, it's a moment, and you're inside it. When the time comes, Alexios marches with his unit. The rhythm of marching becomes hypnotic. Step, step, step. Leather sandals strike earth. The sun warms bronze. Dust rises in soft clouds and settles on skin. The line of men moves like a single creature. A phalanx is not just a formation. It is a philosophy. You are protected by the man beside you, and you protect him. So you stay close. So close you can hear his breath. So close you can feel the shifting of his shield. The countryside opens around them. Hills, fields, distant trees. Villages appear and vanish behind them. Sometimes people watch quietly as the Spartans pass. Sometimes the road is empty. At night, the camp is orderly. No wild celebrations, no drunken chaos. Sparta does not do chaos. Men eat. Men rest, men sharpen weapons. Alexios sits by a small fire, not too close. He watches sparks drift upward. The sky is vast. Stars are sharper here than in city light. He hears the low sound of conversation, brief and practical. Someone says they'll reach a certain place by midday. Someone else says, "Good, that's it." Alexios lies down. He listens to the night. He can hear insects, distant wind, a horse shifting, a man coughing, and beneath it all, the quiet understanding that tomorrow could bring violence. Alexios closes his eyes and tries to sleep.
Spartan training teaches you to sleep anywhere, which is impressive because modern humans can't sleep if the refrigerator makes a noise. When battle comes, it comes fast, but we'll describe it softly, not with shouting, not with drama, with the calm detail of someone observing from a distance. Alexios stands in line, shield raised. The bronze edge catches light. The men around him are close, a wall of bodies and wood and metal. He hears the command. The line moves forward. Footsteps thud in unison. A deep sound, like a heartbeat. The enemy line approaches. Another wall of men, another set of shields. In that moment, Greece feels very small. Two lines pressing toward each other. He feels the first impact, shield against shield, wood groaning under pressure, the sound of metal scraping. He pushes, not because he is brave in a storybook way, because he has to, because everyone is pushing, because the formation demands it. The air inside his helmet feels hot. His breath echoes, his muscles strain. Time narrows. There is no past, no future, only pressure, only movement. He hears grunts, short cries, commands. He keeps his spear steady. He tries to find gaps. He tries to keep the man beside him safe. And the strange thing is, even in battle, there are moments of stillness, a pause, a breath, a step that lands perfectly, a second where the world holds. Then it moves again. Eventually, the lines break. Men retreat, men chase, men regroup, and then, slowly, it ends. Alexios is alive. His hands shake slightly, but he controls them. He looks down at his shield, scuffed, marked, real. He looks at the men beside him. Some are smiling faintly. Some are silent. Some are gone. And this is the reality behind Spartan discipline. It works, but it costs. The Peloponnesian War is not constant battle. Often it is waiting. It is marching, then sitting. It is expecting action, then hearing nothing but wind. Alexios learns that war is mostly repetition. Camp, move. Camp, move. Eat, train, sleep. The same motions again and again until they become the shape of time. He watches seasons change. Spring fields become summer dust. Summer dust becomes autumn chill. He sees Greek towns that look similar. Stone, clay, smoke, goats, children watching from corners. He thinks sometimes of Athens, of a city with walls and ships. He imagines Athenians debating war strategies while wearing sandals that are definitely nicer than his. Sparta doesn't debate as much. Sparta decides, and then expects you to carry it out. Alexios becomes steadier in war, not numb, just practiced. He learns how to conserve energy, how to keep calm, how to sleep with one ear listening, how to read the mood of his commanders by the way they stand. A slight change in posture means something is coming. He becomes, in a quiet way, very good at surviving. And through this, he remains Alexios, a human person inside a disciplined system. He thinks of home. He thinks of the river. He thinks of the olive trees. He thinks of the communal meals. He thinks of Sparta at night, when the stones cool and the city seems almost peaceful. And someday, after campaigns and marches and uncertainty, he returns. When Alexios comes home, Sparta looks unchanged. The same plain buildings, the same narrow paths, the same quiet air. But he has changed. Not in a dramatic way, not in a way that makes him give a speech, in a deeper, quieter way, like a stone worn by water. He walks along familiar streets. He hears the same sounds: cooking fires, sandals, brief voices. He sees elders watching, as they always do. He sees boys training, as they always do. He sees women managing affairs, strong and steady. And he realizes something. Sparta is designed to continue. Individuals pass through it like seasons. The system remains. It is comforting in a way. It is also heavy. Alexios returns to communal meals. He sits among men who have been where he has been. They exchange short comments. They make a few dry jokes. Someone says something about how long the war is lasting. Another replies something like, "Yes." In Sparta, that counts as emotional expression. Alexios smiles faintly. He eats, He listens, he rests, and at night, when the city is quiet, he lies down. He thinks about what it means to be Spartan, to be shaped by discipline, to be part of a story much larger than yourself. He exhales, he allows the day to slip away, and we too can let the day slip away. Now imagine the Spartan night, stone cooling after the heat of day, a soft breeze through olive leaves, the faint glow of distant firelight. Somewhere a dog turns in sleep. Somewhere water moves in the river. Alexios rests, not because Sparta has become gentle, but because even the strictest places must allow the body to sleep. And you can sleep too. Your bed is softer than straw. Your blanket is warmer than a Spartan cloak. No one expects you to wake before dawn and wrestle anyone, unless you have a cat, in which case, good luck. Let your thoughts slow. Let your breathing deepen. Let the world become distant. Good night.